Just start over again.
Hmm?
Okay. How many of you knew? How many of you know who shot and killed JFK?
John knows who.
No. Lee Harvey Oswald. Lee Harvey Oswald used a Mannlicher Carcane hunting rifle that was made in Italy. He shot him of over in excess of 100 yards away with winds exceeding over 20 miles per hour. Do any of you know where he received his shooting training?
Air Force.
No, the Marine Corps. He joined the Marine Corps just like any other, went to his local Marine Corps serviceman and signed up. Now, there are other ways you can do this. You can sign up for early enlistment at the age of 17, and once you get out of boot camp, you can be anywhere in a pay grade from a 2 up to an E3. And if you join at you're 18, you only have an E1 pay grade, which is, I'm going to say, $400 less a month. Now, to be in the Marine Corps, you have to have certain physical requirements, age requirements. You can't have a criminal record, and there's also a lot of physical requirements that you can't have. You can't have any over-existing injuries, heart conditions, or anything like that. And once you sign up to be in the Marine Corps, you are now considered a poolee from the time you sign up to the time you go to boot camp. Now, when you're a poolee, you can go to your local PT trainings with your Marine Corps servicemen or anything like that. But once you enter go into boot camp, you aren't considered a Marine yet. You have to pass the 3-month boot camp training. And in the 3-month boot camp training, what you do is they teach you how to fire your rifle correctly, how to fire it accurately, and how to fire it in the perfect way a Marine should be firing it. Also, they teach you minor martial arts skills so you can protect yourself in hand-to-hand combat. They teach you how to use your sidearms and your service-issue rifle. Also, the Marine Corps has 3 goals. Two not-so-main goals and 1 really main goal. One main goal is to make you stronger for the Marine Corps. Their second goal is to get the weak out of the strong, and the third main goal is to make Marines. Once you are finished with the Marine Corps, you aren't into service yet, you don't go overseas, you don't get stationed, you have to go through individual training. And what individual training is if you sign up for artillery, you train in your artillery division. If you sign up for infantry, you train in your infantry division. And once you pass that 2-month course and whatever you're doing, that's when you go overseas, or that's when you get stationed, wherever you're supposed to be stationed. Another option after you get out of boot camp is you can go to the officer training. And those are for servicemen who just signed up normally and to be enlisted men, but you can sign up to be an officer, which means you're leading a battalion or a squadron or anything like that. And that's just the same thing as boot camp, another 3-month course on training you how to become a good officer so you don't kill your men if you send them into the wrong situations. Now, once you get into the Marine Corps, once you pass your officer training course or once you pass your individual tests, that's when you get stationed. Right now, you can be stationed anywhere from Afghanistan to the Philippines to Japan to anywhere in the United States, all depending on what you chose for your occupation in the Marine Corps. Also, life in the Marine Corps is very tough. It all depends on where you're stationed, though. If you're stationed in Japan, you're living mostly a city life. You can be anything from a gym rat and lift all day, or just stay on the station base and clean your gun. In Afghanistan, you're patrolling the borders of Afghanistan and Iraq and Iran, making sure no insurgents are passing through the borders, and you're also looking for Al-Qaeda members. And if you're stationed in the Philippines, you're watching the shores, making sure that nothing's happening off the coast of the Philippines, and also it's mostly a city life. You can also become gym rat or just stay in the station and clean your gun all day. And speaking of guns, these are just some of the standard issue Marine Corps weapons. The standard issue Marine Corps handgun or sidearm is the M9 Beretta. It weighs 33.6 ounces. It's got a barrel length of 217 millimeters, and it takes a 9x19 millimeter parabellum round. Now, if you chose to be an infantryman, you can either have the M16, the M6 carbine, or the M249 saw. The M249 saw is a standard issue light machine gun for the Marine Corps servicemen. It weighs 22 pounds fully loaded. It's 1,041 millimeters long, and it takes a 556 by 45 millimeter NATO round. And the M16 is the very first M16 that was created. It was on the drawing board towards the middle of the Vietnam War and was put in use towards the end of the Vietnam War. The M16 weighs about 7.18 pounds. It's 1,000 millimeters long, and it takes a 5.56 by 45 millimeter NATO round. The M16A4 is a more modern version of the M16. It's 4 generations older than the M16, and it's got a lot of differences, but very subtle differences than the M16. The M16, as you can see, they're the same length, but the M16A4 is heavier. Also, on the M16A4, there are sliding attachment racks on the grip and on the sight, which means you can slide on any attachments that you would like the grenade launcher or a grip or an APOC sight, such as, which is on that one. Also, the M16A4 has a different recoil system than the M16, which means it's more accurate because there's less recoil in the M16A4. It's the same length, and it also takes the 5.56 by 45 millimeter NATO round. And one of the main attachments you can get for the M16 or the M6 carbine is the M203 grenade launcher. It weighs about 3 pounds. It's 380 millimeters long, and it takes a 40 by 46 millimeter SR round. Also, if you qualify to be a sharpshooter, which means you have to shoot a 49 or a 50 in your shooting tests in boot camp. Anywhere from 45 to a 48 is a marksman, anywhere from 49 to 50 is a sharpshooter. If you become a sharpshooter, you can go to the Marine Corps Sniping School, which is also another 3-month class where it teaches you how to become a sniper, how to stay hidden, how to use the correct sniping techniques. And one of the main systems that they use is the M110 semi-automatic sniper system. It weighs about 15.3 pounds. It's 1,290 millimeters long, and it takes a 7.62 by 51 millimeter NATO round. Once you get out of the Marine Corps, there are possible job opportunities that you can have, like Marine. You can put that on your job descriptions, and they'll mostly look at you, and they will hire you most of the time because the Marine Corps, they usually go into something like the police force or stuff like that, or they could just stay into the Marine Corps and just work their way up through the ranks and get higher pay grades. But for the Marines that get discharged out of the Marine Corps, and who get discharged out of the Marine Corps and are back into the civilian life, some of them do have trouble adjusting, like what Lee Harvey Oswald did. He had a lot of trouble adjusting to life out of the Marine Corps, and he didn't like the way the politics were going on, and that's why he shot JFK and stuff. But a lot of Marine Corps servicemen are doing well outside of into the civilian lifestyle, and I just believe that we should support our troops more, and while they're in Afghanistan, while they're in Iraq. So that's my presentation.